box jumps up on your screen, you have to click got it, and it will disappear. Okay, and so once you have your setup as I described it, one chair for sitting and then two chairs with the backs facing in as parallel bars for balance and support. And let's get to it. Okay. So let's begin. Sitting forward on the chair. Two buttock bones plug down through the seat. Chin slightly tucked, crown therefore is lengthening up. And we're looking to cultivate, find, calibrate to our central pillar. This center line, this vertical line that goes through the middle of us, and a key component to Tai Chi understanding of how the body works is that we have to relax around that central pillar. So we don't want to be thinking, okay, I got to hold my chest and shoulders, because what this does, if I'm thinking hold my shoulders back, I'm basically holding body weight in my body that could be relaxed out and settled all the way down, so that this body is loose and mobile and agile versus gripped and held. So that's a first and very important skill that we have to develop. And there's many, many layers where we can be holding tension. And I think, you know, you could of course speak to it better than me, but with Parkinson's, there's tension that's a little bit less easy to control, right? So there's this just held state. But in general, we still want to work in the direction of softening, releasing, opening, relaxing to the best of your ability. The first skill that helps us do that, the first technique is, again, once we found Zhong-Zheng, central upright, then breathing, because breathing helps in many ways. In through the nose, filling up, holding, out the mouth like a sigh, like a releasing exhale, which is different than if I force the exhale, push the exhale out. Really let that exhale represent a letting go, a relaxing, a softening, all the way to the bottom of the exhale. And then again, inhaling when you're ready. Active, pulling in, filling up, expanding. Hold that in a way that you're sort of gathering effort, gathering intention, gathering tension and grip. And then with the exhale out the mouth like a sigh, like you're melting, softening, releasing. Let this idea of descending body weight out through the chair, through your legs. And then again, inhale through the nose when you're ready. Holding that full state. And then when you're ready, open the mouth like a sigh. Softening, release all the way out. Let's take that 5 more breath cycles. Forgot to mute. Okay. Releasing. Now I use that metaphor of the blow up clown doll that I think is called Bobo, that we all, I think, have a memory of, where it's filled with air, but at the bottom is a sort of chamber of sediment, of sand, of something that is weighted, that is heavy. But because that weight is down here, not the sand chamber isn't at the top of that doll, right? If it was, then boom, it's falling over. But because it's at the bottom and going down through the earth, there's a stability there. And there's a perfect uprightness there. But it has nothing to do with something holding that doll up to keep it up. It has everything to do with there being emptiness through the whole chamber, and then all that groundedness is down here and through to the earth. So this is what we are doing by relaxing, releasing the tissues and joints. It's going in that direction, the sediment, the weight going that way, the gravity, and then what's left is the opposite idea of levity, lightness. Okay, so now let's do our movements with the idea that these movements open everything up and allow it to go down and through. Slide your hands back, elbows back, shoulder blades back, chest up, chin up, arching. So we're opening the front and kind of gently almost closing the back. And then slide the hands forward, elbows straighten, drop the head, rounding. So now we're opening the back and closing the front. And again, back with the hands, elbows back, chest up, look up, inhaling and exhaling. Rounding, dropping the head. Two more, inhale. So we all have layers of subconscious and unconscious tension. And then let's say with Parkinson's, there's more going on. There's another layer, right? Which is, part of the activity in the nervous system from the ailment. And so these movements really just help to bring awareness to the areas. Let's do one more. And the movement, especially if we emphasize this soft quality, then it yields this result of a softer, looser for your body. Let's stay in the middle and then go left hand forward, right hand and elbow pull back, turn the head. And then switch. Right hand forward, left hand and elbow back, turn. And then back through the middle, soft and loose. And then turn. And then soft through the middle, turn. Same idea, the movements helping to shake loose stuck body weight, stuck rigidity, with the intention of letting it go down and through. So don't hold your body. Learn to let go of the body. And then back to the middle. From the middle, arms hang. Shift the weight a little bit to your right buttock and lean. Lift the left wrist up here. That allows us just a little more freedom to tip. And then we let that left wrist dive down. Right wrist floats up a little as we lean. And then back to middle. And lean. And again, keep the idea of releasing so that that which can be released is released and slides down and through the body. And what's left is this empty, quote unquote, empty quality of lightness and mobility, agility, just because we're not grabbing and compressing. Last one here. And then back to middle. Let's do our shoulder blade circles. Shoulder blades spread apart on the back, which causes this shoulders forward position. Then lift them up, over the top, back, behind, and down, under. And then under, forward, and up, over, and back, down. if you were to look at the anatomy, this area where the shoulder blades, arms, chest, spine, rib cage, that whole upper chassis is one of the most complicated areas. There's a lot of ability to do very interesting things with the hands and arms and upper body, but that means there's also a lot of places where there can be glued function. Now let's go back and up out what's held there. We're moving the structure and therefore the tissue in the way that it is meant to be moved. And I think I hope my internet's not being too glitchy right now. I see little skips happening. So sorry about that. It's not good. Is that what you're saying, Chris? The internet is not good. Is that correct? Shaky, huh? All right, let me see if I can change to this. We have two internet. Okay, so that should be better. I hope it is. Now let's bend the elbows, bring the hands up. Elbows go and up as high as you can, but try to stay relaxed. Down, around in front, squeeze. Touch your elbows together. Down, out and up. Down, around in front, squeeze. Now elbows back, down, forward, up, forward, down, back, down, forward, up, forward, down, back. One more. And down, elbows out, one above, one below, cross and hug. Hug your own body. And then open, cross, open, cross, open, and cross. Open. Elbows down, arms down, up, and then drop and swing. Up, swing, up, swing, up, swing. And let them just hang there. And then we'll go one forward, one back, swing, swing. Remember to let them go. Let them drop down. Let them swing like pendulums. Loose, loose. And let them settle. Scoot a little bit back on the chair. Right knee up, heel in, and then push away. Up, set the foot down. Other leg, up, push, up, down. Load, unload, reload, down. So this is just the minimal getting the body ready, all the various joints. Now, straighten your right leg, point foot, flex foot. Be very thorough, all the way to full point, all the way to full flex. And then invert, evert, tilt, tilt. and then circle, round, reverse, circle, down, point and flex, invert, evert, tilt, tilt, circle, reverse circle, and down. And the final minimal series, of course, there's always more exercises to be done, but this is just kind of minimum so we can get up and get to walking, doing our walking practice. Step a little wider, lift the toes up, and then turn on the heels, turn the toes and knees in, closing the quad or groin. And then lift the toes and open, and really feel a distinct open space there. And then close, open, close, open, close, open. One more. And neutral, feet back to hip distance, forward fold. Fold at the hips, open up the lower back, get as folded as you possibly can. And then sit up, lean slightly back, sit up, fold forward, sit up, lean back, sit up. Now these next two, fold and slide your hands down your shins and let your back round a little bit. Let your head drop a little bit. And then come up in the rounded shape to sitting. And then just a little bit of a lift of chest and a look up. Fold. And then round. And then up. Arch. So this is to loosen up the spinal column, the muscles around it, the upper body that oftentimes when we're getting ready to stand up in a moment, we often bring a lot of tension with us. There's sort of this activity in this upper body, and that doesn't help do the standing, actually. We think it's helping, but it's actually making it a little harder. So this movement here of rounding and letting go, releasing the head, the neck, shoulders, back muscles, and torso. We want this feeling of looseness. We want to learn to rely on that looseness. Go ahead, sit back up and a little arch. Let's do one more. This fold from hips and then this rounding, softening, loosening, letting go, and then rising up. Now, with that same quality, slide the feet back a little. Arms hang loose, and we fold at the hips and allow that soft quality. We don't necessarily have to round very much, but just soft quality. And then as you stand up, keep that soft quality. Remember the visual of the sediment going down. That's where our stability comes from, rather than holding our body up. Then keep the sediment down underneath us. Fold at the hips, stay loose and light through the body, and just fold at the hips, sink your butt. Once you find the chair, then lean back and allow the body weight to go through the chair. And notice, okay, your feet are light now because they're not being used to connect you to the earth. The chair is connecting you to the earth. But now fold and feel how the body weight comes out of the chair and goes down through your feet and legs. And stand up and see if you can just keep this lightness, keep this loose quality, right? And again, fold. Because we're fighting against our own survival mechanisms that when we stand up, we think, oh, I got to be ready for something. And so we tighten up, but it just makes us top heavy and it precludes us or doesn't allow us to get connected or plugged into the ground. So now we're standing. Now don't sit in your chair, but do that squat, butt back, sink. See if you can get maybe to touch the toes, maybe someday touch the floor, and then rise back up. And think of this like an accordion being closed and then open and then closed, and it kind of pumps life force. It softens and lengthens the tissue. So when you go down, stay loose and fold everything up. Let everything sort of compress, for lack of a better word. And then stand up and straighten, and everything lengthens. And so we're trying to have this unhindered quality of extension and contraction of the body, right? We're just folding, compressing a little bit, you could say, and then rising. And ideally that movement allows us this looseness. Now let's do the same arm things that we did a moment ago. Swing, 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 swing. This is just to remind us, again, if you're holding tension in the upper body and you try this movement, it's going to feel like it's pulling your torso and throwing your balance off. But if you're loose, your balance should be undisturbed, undisturbed. And then let's do that opposite. So same idea, we have to be able to allow turning of the body without it disconnecting us from our ground. So it's looseness that allows us to stay grounded and free and settled. Now you've got a chair to your left. If you're, again, set up like I described earlier, come to that chair, stand in front of it and have your fingertips on the chair for support. And then we're going to get so you can see my feet. Then we're going to tip into the toes, lift the heels, lower the heels, rock back to the heels and pull the toes up off the floor. And then forward and lift, back, rock back, lift the toes. Lift, rock back, lift. Lift and lift. Okay, now place your hands firmly on the back of that chair. Walk your feet back a decent amount. Keep your arms straight, both arms straight, as if locking the elbows. And then from the hips, stick your butt back, 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 and get a stretch through the shoulders, the back body, the hamstrings. This is basically downward facing dog from yoga, except a little easier to access because we're not on the floor. And then lift the chest and let your hips come a little forward. So we come out of the stretch, only to then go right back in. Fold. Open. Keep breathing comfortably. And lift the chest, coming up out of the position. Walk your feet forward. Turn and face forward. Now your right foot, turn the foot slightly out 5 degrees and sink your weight into that one. And then take your left foot and put it in front with the heel touching and the toes pointing up. So we're in this position, like so. And then take your left hand and place it on your left leg. So now stick your butt back, similar to what we just did. I'll turn sideways so you can see it. One leg is straight, one leg is bent. Slide your left hand down, maybe to the shin, maybe the ankle, maybe the foot, and then come all the way back up to complete standing. And then do it again. Stick the butt back, slide that hand down. And use your right hand on the chair for safety and support. Someday you could place that right hand on the knee if you wanted to challenge your balance a little more. You place right hand on the right bent knee as you come up and down. One more time. So now that left leg of yours is open and flowing, ideally. Now shift your weight into that leg, right hand on the chair. Now you fold from the hip and your right leg goes up in the air behind you and then come back to standing vertical. I'm going to do it sideways so you can see. You're folding and your back leg goes and stays in line with the torso, and you create this little angle, and then you come back up. So this really helps us get rid of this grip that we have in the upper body and find our middle pivot, kind of like a seesaw has a middle pivot. You want to feel like you got this middle pivot as you teeter-totter the head and shoulders forward and the leg back, and really feel how there's a middle from which you operate, rather than the middle being up in our head or up in our upper body where we usually rely on for control. Fold and rise. Okay, same series, other side. So side step, get closer to your other chair. Turn your left foot out 5 degrees, shift your weight under the left, and put your right foot in front, heel touching lightly on the ground. Right hand on your right thigh, stick your butt back, fold and slide that right hand down the ankle, maybe the foot, and then stand back up and be vertical. And again, stick the butt back, fold at the hips, slide the hand down and back up. 2 more. And one more time. So now we've got some good flow going through that right leg. Shift your weight into your right leg and then fold. Torso goes down, leg goes up and back. And then come back up to vertical and then fold. And up. So you're looking for the middle, trying to find that middle pivot. Two more. Last one. And standing. Make your way over back to your first side chair. And if possible, no hands on the chair, arms loose, everything loose. Change the body weight to your right leg. Let that little bit of a softness be this spring-loaded quality. Lift the left heel and get to the very tip of your shoe, and then land the whole foot back down and change the weight over to the left leg. As your weight goes down through that left leg, lift to the tippy toe, heel back down, change. And tip of the toe, back down, change. So remember the visual of the sediment going down. So before we were using 2 legs to connect us down, now just the one. So we're working on making one leg do all the support work and the other leg becomes empty. And then we change one leg, do the support work, other empty. Let's go level 2. You might just touch the chair for extra safety, because now we lift the toe and then lower the foot back to the floor, change the weight. Once the foot is empty, get to the tippy toe and then lift, lower back down, change the weight. Tippy toe, lift, lower, change. Tippy toe, lift, lower, change. If you're feeling pretty good, maybe you try no hands, but you know where your chair is just in case you need it. Try to rely on the down quality, letting gravity get you to the earth and letting levity be what's left. Let's go level 3, hand on chair for support so you can get the knee as high up as it can go and then soften it all the way along without any weight. So don't let the body pull with the leg. Then change all the way up, all the way down, change. All the way up, all the way down, change. Up, down, change. Someday no hands, but safety first. Now, change the weight to your left leg, right foot empty, put the heel in front, lightly touching. Okay? Now, the primary direction is still down, even though we're moving forward. So let your body weight go down through your right leg. Once it's there, then this left foot is empty, so you can get up to the tippy toe. And then when you go backwards, same idea, the weight is going down. That allows you to get to the tip of the heel. You're going forward, but really you're going down. And you're going backward, but really you're going down. Forward and down. Backward and down. So the moving forward in space, in a way, is incidental, secondary. And that's what keeps us from getting over our skis forward, right? Lurching forward or lurching backwards is because we realize, oh, I'm not even thinking about forward or backwards. I'm thinking about down to the earth. Let's go level 2. So one hand on chair as needed here from this empty hip. Lift, lower, shift, go down to the earth. Once this back foot is empty, then you can just flamingo, right? Just bend the knee, put the toe back where it was touching, shift back. From this empty hip, lift, still my weight is going down. Lower, my weight is still down, and then down through that foot. And then we've got flamingo, down, shift. Lift, lower, shift. Lift, lower, shift. Any tension up here is fighting against this necessary getting to the earth softness. Let's go level 3 now. As your right leg is emptied, hand on chair as needed, lift, come down soft with the heel, shift the weight. Now your back leg empty, forward and up, toe reach back, shift back. As the weight gets down to the earth, bring that knee up, down. As you shift, it's down to the earth. The down is what allows the up. Staying down allows you to safely step back. And then the change is an event, right? Rather than something that happens because my body gets pulled with my leg. It's the leg is free. And then I decide that I'm changing which leg is going to be my conduit. The leg is free. And then I'm deciding. Eventually they can blend close together. So then I'm going down and sort of right away up. And then I'm going down and sort of right away up. But yet I still have that feeling of the safety. So we're slowing it down so that you can master the parts. And eventually you can put them together a little quicker to move faster, quote unquote. Now let's switch sides. Step. Got your hand on that left side chair. Put the weight in your right leg. Left foot is empty. Heel touch. Now this first one is the best one to practice. No hands, right, when you're beginning. If you need to, sure, hand on chair. But here we're not leaving the ground. So we're just making left full, right empty, and then switching. Empty full. But the heel or toe are always touching the floor for this first round. So there's a psychological support there, knowing you've got 2 feet touching the ground, so you can practice soft hands, arms, shoulders, torso. Get that feeling of loose. Practice making sure you're letting the knees soften so that you're not moving on two rigid stilts, but rather on two spring-loaded legs. Now, level 2, hand on chair to make sure you're safe. From the hip, left leg lift, lower, then we shift, primary direction down. Then it's bend knee, like a little flamingo, touch the toe back down, shift, the weight goes down. That allows you the freedom of the lift and lower. And then the weight goes down, and that allows you the flamingo. Couple more. Down, lift, lower, down, lift, lower, down, lift, lower, down. Just relax. Teacup is on your head and it's doing just fine because the body's relaxed, the weight is going through, and so there's a natural vertical alignment that you don't have to hold. Level 3, hand on chair as needed to allow for that full lift, complete lower, consciously changing now. Left leg is your full leg, and then bring right knee up, back, shift. Left knee up, down, shift. And the cool feeling that you might start to feel, those of you that have been practicing a while, is that at no point are you not grounded. So that sturdy quality of your body weight being connected through the earth never isn't there, or there's an opportunity for that. So that during this transfer, I'm grounded the whole time. So they say in Tai Chi, it's as if the weight is changing underground, right? Even though our body's up here, it's as if it's happening underneath us. Now, changing sides, bring left foot next to right foot, side step. We're here. Empty your inside leg or your right leg, inside meaning closest to the chair, which I guess could be outside. Heel touching. Now we're shifting. Get the body weight down through that right leg. Now your left foot, we're going to do a little exercise here where you go forward with the heel, back with the toe. Notice I'm not putting any weight in that foot, and I'm not going into it, going back. Notice how that's not happening. My foot is empty the whole time, and I'm just touching, 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 touching. Letting it swing forward, letting it swing back, or swinging it forward, swinging it back. All right, now swing it forward and keep it forward. Shift your weight into it. Get to the tippy toe of that back foot. Now shift back. That front leg empty, swing it back, just like we practiced, and then shift back. Shift forward. Once it's empty, it swings easily forward. Shift forward. Shift back. Once it's empty, swing it back, empty, and then shift back. So the components of walking, but practicing making them easy. Same thing, that grounded quality can be present, and it's as if the groundedness is under the ground. Weight changing rather than somewhere up in our body that we're holding on for dear life. Level 2, we go lift, lower, shift. Once that back foot is empty, now we're going to repeat this here. Pick the foot up and step over something. Use your chair for safety as needed. And then pick the foot up and step back over that something. Up and over forward, no body weight. Up and over backward, no body weight. So no hands if you can, but I make sure that you're able to feel safe enough to practice this empty foot, this light deal. Now foot forward, shift into it, and we do a little flamingo with the back leg. So bend the knee, pick that heel up, and then touch the toe to the floor and shift back. Now again, chair as needed, leg up in front, bend, and foot behind. Shift. Then the front leg, lift, lower, shift. Step over something, up and over. Shift. Flamingo. Shift back, up, over. Reaching back without letting body weight leave this leg is the key to that bit. So usually this one's a little easier because we can see we're used to walking that way. But when we go backwards, it's very easy for us to get pulled and sort of lean back. So you have to stay where you are and keep your middle, reach the foot, then shift. One more, level 2. Finally, level 3, this is you'll probably need the chair for, because we're going full lift, lower, shift, and then exaggerating. Heel to butt, knee up, foot out, lower the leg, all while keeping your central everything. Then shift, and then we bring that right knee forward and up. Toe behind, shifting back. And then knee, tuck, reach, shift. Let's do 2 more, level 3. Up, down, shift. Free leg, empty, shift. Free leg, empty, shift. This big deal with Tai Chi is that there is a middle. One more. There is a constant, which is stillness. Stillness. But around that stillness is absolute freedom, absolute mobility. Bring the right foot next to the left foot, side step, closer to this chair. Left foot empty, put it out in front, level 1. Shift. Now this back foot, let's do that little exercise where you just swing it forward, touch the heel, swing it back, touch the toe. Again, forward, touch your heel, back, touch your toe. Loose. All your body weight is organized, connected to the floor through one leg, your standing leg, and then the other leg is free. You don't need it. Now, the next time your right foot is forward, shift. Get to your tippy toe. Now we'll just walk forward, backward. Shift, step, shift. Get to the heel. Shift, step, shift. Get to the toe. Shift, step, shift. Heel, shift, step, shift, toe. Continue. Can you get that feeling of soft, loose, and grounded because of that soft looseness? And then can you almost get that feeling where there's not even a single moment where you're not grounded, even though you just changed legs and moved a foot or foot and a half in space, right? But you're not disconnecting from the safety of being grounded. Let's go level 2. Lift, lower, shift. Now let's do the exercise. Use the chair so you feel safe enough to step over something, touch heel, up over something, back, behind, touch toe. Still no body weight, no body weight, and no body weight. No body weight, no body weight. So it's all in this leg. Now, if the foot is forward, once the foot is forward, shift. And let's do the little flamingo. So because that leg is empty, then we lift lower. So that point I was making, there is a stillness, a constant, but everything else is all about change. So this is empty. It has to be completely empty. And then it has to become completely full. So it has to change all the way to its opposite so that this foot is empty enough to make that movement. But then this one has to be ready to go all the way into its opposite so that this one is free. And back. And so basically we're all somewhat stuck halfway in between, halfway in, halfway out. rather than free enough to go completely in one direction and then completely into the other, or completely empty and then completely full. So that grip that we have in the body is keeping us from this change. That's the essence of Tai Chi, the yin and the yang, that they have to completely change and then completely change. Yet that's organized around stillness, vertical line. So it's not sloppy. It's not disorganized. Level 3, hand on chair as needed. We go complete lift, down, shift, and then we just exaggerate heel to butt, knee to chest, foot out, float it down, shift. And this one completely free and loose can come forward, up, back. And then we shift back and lift, tuck, reach, shift back. Again, it's empty, so it's just totally free, right? Like a marionette string. And then it's got to become completely sturdy, as this one is free. And then this has to become completely sturdy, this one free. And the best way to do that is just constantly think, relax, relax. And assume there's somewhere that you're doing this, that you need to go like that, and release. And at first it'll feel a little less stable than your grip, but when practiced, it becomes very stable, very sustainable. All right, now let's bring the, don't do anything with your chairs. I'm just adjusting. Your chairs stay right where they are. Now bring your body over to the far left of your space. So then as you turn and face across, you've got a runway, a big runway to practice 4, maybe 5 steps forward and steps back, and yet your chairs remain there for your support. Empty your left foot, put it in front. Level 1, shift. And remember that swing, shift, swing, shift. Remember to rely on the down. So now we go backwards, down through. Once you're completely down through one leg, the other leg is free to step. And then down through that leg, the other leg becomes free. Down, free to step. Down, free to step. Let's go forward and back. Shift. Shift and step. So around that stillness, be totally free to change. Full to empty, empty to full. Try to not be carrying around unnecessary weight in the arms, shoulders, chest, stomach, and back. Level 2. Each time, like there's something you have to step over. Each time, and this one really tests how well you understand the grounding down through to liberate the lifting foot. Because if you don't ground down through and you just yank the foot off the ground, it'll feel dangerous. It'll feel like you're throwing your body weight off or your center off. But when you go down through, there's this unique safety, right? So we're down and through. That's what gives me the freedom to move that empty foot. And then I change which one I'm down and through. Freedom, down and through. Freedom, down and through. Down and through. All right, turn facing forward again. So you're looking at your computer screen. Change your weight to your left leg and out, in. So left is full, right is empty. Now make your secret swords, and just lightly touch. You got genital area in the middle. The quad, just lightly touch that area kind of up at the crease. So you can feel this space here. Now your weight's through your left leg. Now as you step your right foot out, you should feel that quad open and then step in and feel it close. So if you let your body weight go with, it's because you're not allowing this quad to open. And so it's this clumsy, clunky movement. versus you're over here, this quad is closed, this one needs to be free to open, close, open, close, because that freedom can allow for open, close, a little bit of speed without any disturbance to your balance. Now, right foot out, right quad is open, left quad is closed. Shift the weight so that your right quad closes, left quad opens. So that's the other important piece of not letting your heel come off the ground, because that keeps this quad closed. Keep that heel down so that that has to open, and then shift back. So now left closes, right opens, and then shift. So right closes, left opens. How's your teacup doing? So we shouldn't have any leaning and leaning. It should just be your vertical line staying intact as you change side to side. So we're cultivating a freedom of movement on the inside. Now stay in your right leg. Left quad is open. Bring the leg in, close left quad, open left quad, close, open, close, open, close, open, close. Now, keep them both closed, feet together, change the weight. This forces us to find the down. So now this foot is empty. You see how mine is free, and then down. Now this one is free, and then down. This one also really helps induce this, what they call the Mingmen, the fulcrum, the movement that we need, the freedom of movement from navel, this whole level of the body. And again, think Latin dancers or some dancers who have those beautiful moving hips. We need to free up that mechanism. That's a natural mechanism that needs to be free and movable. Now, the next time you're down through your left leg, stay in the left, open right quad, step, shift, close right quad, open left, and then in. And then change like we did just a moment ago. So this is full, this is empty. It's steps without weight change. And then shift. Once this one is empty, in. The teacup on your head, just sitting there. Just coming along for the ride. As you change which leg is your plug. Your plug. It's all you're doing is changing from one to the other. Now, bring left foot in, back out, go back this way. Loose, light, free. So, advanced, quote unquote, advanced Tai Chi movements require that we can execute this lower body changing from full to empty, empty to full, using that to ambulate around the room, to move, to locomote, to get us from A to B. But we're using this mechanism of empty, full, full, empty. But then what needs to happen is, let's go ahead and step the right foot out. Now let's go back to, again, if you've been coming to Friday class, you know this move. So what's happening is we're still doing full empty, empty, full change, but we're now adding turning, right? And we're adding this loose quality rather than stiff arms. If I hold my arm stiff, then this is what it looks like, right? But if I'm loose, and then I shift and turn, and I've got life force flowing to the fingertips, we've got the bear washing paws in the stream. Shift and turn. Now, stay in your right leg. Your hands should be over to your right. Left foot empty. Bring that left foot in with no body weight. So you step it in. Now, change the weight into that left leg. Turn and sweep your hands. Now, your right foot is empty. And this adds to the skill of opening the right quad because we're sort of turning and we've got everything over here. And then we're opening anyway. And so it makes all the tissue in the body have to elongate a little bit more. And there's a dynamic tension there that we allow to resolve, which pulls us through the bear washing pause. Now there's this dynamic tension here, right? Because this foot is down, the quad is open, and we allow that dynamic tension to resolve, bring the foot in. And then we're shifting, turning, the bear washing pause. As the hands stay to your left, right foot, empty step. Don't let your body weight get yanked along. And then shift, turn, bear wash pause. Dynamic tension in this left leg resolves as the leg comes in. And then the shift and turn, weight has to go down through, rotate, turn that free body. Let the hands get across there. Hands across there, Chris. Get that left hand, yeah, out. So let them travel. That gives us more effect when you do that little step, creates more of that tension, dynamic tension that then resolve. And let them get across. Bring that left foot in. Shift and turn, the bear wash. Step out, shift and turn. Now we're going to reverse direction. So keep your hands to your right. Bring left foot in and back out. Shifting, turning, bear wash, pause. Bring that right foot in. Shift and turn. So it's organized around the middle, a sort of middle pivot that can go in 360 degrees in all directions. So it's kind of like an asterisk in 3 dimensions, that we've got movement happening in all these directions, yet there's a middle. Shift and turn, sweep, step, shift and turn, sweep. So we've now added lateral and rotational movement. Let's go there and back again. Maybe you start the bear swirls the stream, where that one hand is brushing knee close, the other hand is traveling far away from the body as you step. And I'll turn sideways so you can see, so that the hands start doing this type of movement, right? Shift, bring it in. Shift, turn, brush knee, swirl, stream, step out. Shift, turn, brush knee, swirl, stream. Bring the foot in. Shift, turn, brush, swirl, step. Shift, turn, brush, swirl, step. So this is advanced Tai Chi. Let's go there. Let's go back one more time. Shift, turn, brush, swirl, step. Shift, turn, brush, swirl, step. So it's organized around the middle. There's a stillness and stability. We're allowing a softness that grounds us, so we don't feel like the movement of the upper body is throwing us off balance, because again, the weight is out of the body, and what's left is this loose, free, functional, light vehicle. And pause. Hands come to the middle, hands together, rub the back of one hand, rub the palms, rub the back of the other hand, and palms, and then go right for the quad, groin area. So the inguinal crease, that's a sort of V-shaped movement that we're making with our massage. Then the hip flexors is a circumferential movement around the hips. I'm not up on my stomach. I'm below and right on the legs, the top of the legs. Find that space on both sides, Chris. Make sure that left hand is doing something. And then we go around and we find the sacrum, the tailbone. So we got our butt cheeks And then the top there, the little crack, we want in there. Stimulate so the nerves flow out to the legs. Then we come up to that lumbar. And then like we're going to do a squat, like we practiced earlier, butt out, sit, the hands sweep down the outside of the legs, around the feet, up the inside of the legs, all the way up to the navel. And then we'll do that same little thing we just did, but with a little less, fewer reps. So inguinal crease 3 or 4 times, hip flexors 3 or 4 times, sacrum and tail 3 or 4, lumbar up onto that low back 3 or 4, and then sit the butt, sweep around and up to the navel. One more time. Qua, hip flexors, sacrum, lumbar, yang channels, yin channels. And to fully reset the chi of the body, up the outer arm to the shoulder, turn that arm up, sweep down and off the fingertips, do it again, same arm, up the outer, down the inner, up, down, up, switch, up, turn, down, turn, up, open, lift, wrap around, draw in the upper gate, down to the middle belly, squat. Everything out of the body, open the back, come up with nothing held in your tissue or nervous system. Arms are loose, staying loose, open, wrap around and close. In through the upper, down to the middle, butt, and through. One more. Open, lift, close, in, down, and through. Wings, roll palms up, fold over top, settle, 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 settle. Hands in front of belly. Seal the practice. Here's the belly button. 1, 2. Thank you so much, everybody. Well done today. Little Taoist bow. And find your comfortable seat. I do have a question